I am the daughter of two public servants. My mother was an public educator, public school educator, and my dad worked for the United States Postal Service. So I grew up in a household of where public service was really important, and doing things to help better your community was just kind of central to my home environment. And so I was fortunate to have great teachers and go to some schools that where I felt like I was offered an opportunity to examine the question of how do you help make your community and the world around you a better place. Getting involved is really important. So showing up, finding things you're interested in, and engaging through service. So that can be volunteerism or in your actual work. Find organizations that align with what matters to you and the kind of community you want to have. And if you roll up your sleeves and work, I think that that really helps you kind of find a niche and be able to start making an influence. Core values for me are really service, honesty, and I think I want to say listening, but I feel like that's not enough. But where you have an exchange with one another, you really hear someone, and then you try to. They hear you, you hear them, and you work together to solutions. So I think that those are kind of very important things for me personally, and also are reflective in the kind of work that we do at the greenhouse. And I think in St. Petersburg, it is kind of twofold. We were fortunate to have fantastic leadership, both from the business community and from our community organizations and groups. Neighborhood involvement's really important in St. Petersburg, and those things kind of came together to envision what the community could become. And that's really why we have a lot of the amazing opportunities and connections that happen here in St. Petersburg today. It was that group effort of looking and saying, how can we keep building? What kind of community do we want to have? And then how do we make that happen? We did not really have great wayfinding signage, and that was something that was really important to city leadership. And normally in a lot of cities, that would just be a project of the either transportation department or the planning department. But this is such a great example of how the city of St. Pete kind of looks at things. This was a joint project where myself with small businesses, kind of that small business landscape and lens, the transportation and parking department, we had our engineering department, we had our marketing department, we had our arts and culture department, all working on this wayfinding signage, because it was a great opportunity to say, yeah, we can have a sign out there, but what could we really do with the signage, and why should we have signage, and how does it interact with the space and the people around it? I'm especially fortunate because the greenhouse is a partnership in action. So the greenhouse is a city and chamber of commerce jointly run operation. And so without partnership, something like the greenhouse would never happen. If it did happen, it would be a much smaller impact, because we wouldn't have that kind of broad ability to bring together multiple groups and serve multiple constituencies. Because my first answer is actually a mentor I had early in my development as a college student. And she was the first woman elected to the state house in Indiana. And she was, of all things, a sorority sister of mine. She was well past, her college years, but she was kind of a mentor to the college students that were in the sorority. And she was this very just powerhouse of a gal, and she worked for her community, and she put herself out there, and she took the time to interface with the younger people to help them believe that they could do what they wanted to do. Find the things you care about, show up, and just do the work. We're really fortunate, I think, in the Tampa Bay area generally, but specifically in St. Petersburg. You don't have to be from a certain place. You don't have to have certain things behind your name. You don't have to have connections in any kind of way as an entry point to let you show up and start influencing this